What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another KO breakdown here on the Playmaker Podcast Network. I'm your host, the Fight Analyst Garrett Kerman. With me, as always, is Joe Danger himself, Jesse Hobson. What's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. I can't. I'm excited for this to be over so I can go poop. But outside of that, I mean, there is a few gems on this card. Not a lot, but we just talked about Bellator, so why not talk about UFC? How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. This fight card is, I want to say, very lackluster, but, we are always going to be here to break down the cards, even if they suck on paper, because
Yeah.
we're here to make money. We are always making money every single week, except for when we lose a fight in the last 180 seconds. And yes, I know all you haters out there love to jump into my DMs immediately after Izzy losing a fight that he was absolutely dominating from start to finish. We're talking about Izzy here was dominating in the striking and in the grappling. So I don't know what to tell you there. I thought that was the better read. That was the read of the fight. Yes, everybody knows that all it takes is one. I get it. But you're talking about a guy that was losing the entire fight. All he had to do was survive just 3 more minutes, and he won. But you have to, you have to give credit where credit is due. Pereira was able to, eventually knock him out because of the leg kicks and everything that happened throughout the fight, and slowing down and gassing. He did all that. And then you also have to give credit to Izzy for taking a fight that he didn't need to take.
Mhm.
He did not need to take this fight. He is, and that's going to fall any second.
Let's go.
Okay, you can keep moving. You can keep talking about that while I get this back up and running.
Nah, bro, just leave it. We're live. Let's go.
No. I'm not leaving it. No. Okay, you keep doing that.
All right. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I enjoyed the fight. I thought it was a great fight. I thought the standout fight though was obviously Poirier and Chandler. Full live. Thomas says he won't be able to stay for the full live, but I'll stay a bit. Hope you've made money this week. Despite the loss on the Izzy fight, I did make quite a bit of money on the last card. And we move forward. We like to look behind just to learn, but at the same time, we're always looking at the next card. And we did break down Bellator. We're gonna break down this shit show of a card for tomorrow. But yeah, I thought overall it was a great card, and I thought it was a good fight, and that's all I really wanted. Even though I had a ton of money on Izzy,
Right.
but it was still a good fight. So I mean, I don't know. Sometimes when I lose more than $50, I'm always like, well, was it at least a good fight? Because then it's like, yeah, ultimately I didn't pay for this pay-per-view. I didn't pay to go to this event. So I lost, charge it to the game, if you will.
Right. I mean, in a sense, I understand what you're saying, but it hurts so much when you're calling it something right, and that happens. But what's up? What's up, Thomas? I appreciate you joining us. I know we're later than usual, but we wanted to get this thing for you guys. We wanted to be able to give you some winners for this week. We didn't want to leave you guys hanging, especially considering there's no UFC next week. So I wanted to make sure that you got some money.
Hey, speaking of calling a fight to a T,
Ooh.
How about the Molly McCann, or not Molly McCann, the Molly what the hell's her name? Is it
Molly McCann? Yeah.
Yeah, it's late. Sorry. I gotta have another sip of my coffee. But yeah, so I called that to a T. I said that she's going to get handled. I said her face will be red. I said that all of the hype. I just didn't understand any of the hype, and everyone, the public was betting her, and I'm just like, I don't get it. I never got it.
Well, I mean, they gave her a couple easy wins, and and they just threw her to the wolves. The UFC did. I don't know what they were thinking there. They needed to give her another middle of the road type of flyweight so she can look good against, and then go up there. I mean, Erin Blanchard is a bona fide title contender. You don't throw her against someone of that caliber.
Yeah, but I mean, why? Like, I don't understand what Molly McCann is friends with. What the Beetle? What the hell's his name?
Patty
Uh,
Pimblett.
yeah, like she's friends with him. I mean, like we watched the Cage Warriors card like last week too. Everyone's friends with him. Who cares? Like
Right.
she was shit before Patty, and she's gonna be shit after Patty. And like Dave Portnoy, like it sucks, you invested in both of them, but I guess you take the good with the bad.
I mean, and then talking about calling something beautifully correct while everybody's betting the other fucking side. Dan the Hangman Hooker
Yep.
absolutely steamrolling Claudio Puertas. That was a thing of beauty. Because everybody, and I was very happy to be like to let everybody know that Dan was not done. He showed that he's not done. He only loses to the best, and Claudio Puertas is nowhere near the best. I've never seen anyone go for an Imanari role as many times. I mean, he's done it even more than Ryan Hall did in a
Yeah.
single fight. Can you believe that? And Ryan Hall is the OG when it comes to leg locking in the 50-50 position. Claudio Puertas, yes, I know he's got multiple leg lock finishes, but he ain't a G like Ryan Hall when it comes to leg locking. So I was just weird, and he knew he had absolutely no stand up abilities to really hang with Dan on the feet, and I knew that. I think I'm almost certain everybody knew that, but they just felt like Dan was done. He won't be able to defend takedowns, and he's going to get his leg ripped off of his body. It was, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of recency bias when you lose a couple in a row. But when you're losing a couple in a row to only elite competition like Arnold Allen and Islam Makhachev, I think you got to give him a little bit of a pass. But
Yeah, I definitely slapped that Hooker KO a couple times, and then also another one I want to. We were talking about elite competition. What about my boy Ryan Spann?
Spann, yeah,
Beaumont, stand up. That
was a beautiful call, and by KO no less.
KO. I said even probably round one. I definitely got lucky, but where does Reyes go from here? That was interesting.
Cut probably.
Yeah.
Go back to the regional scene, see
Or
what you can do.
maybe fight like somebody off a Tuesday Night Contender Series.
Possibly. Thomas is asking, may I ask you guys if you believe that Jack Della is a lock this week? Yes. We'll get into that. Actually, we'll start breaking it down right now, but yes. Jack Della, I'm going to have to go with him definitely dominating Danny Roberts. Roberts is going to give Della the fight that he wants. But let's start the prelims. Let's start it right off. Our first fight on the prelims is a fight in the women's flyweight division between Teresa Beleda and Natalia Silva. Right now, Silva minus 165, Beleda the comeback plus 140. Who do you got?
So this is kind of like for my old schools, but I'm gonna pretend that this is a mic. It's a letter opener. But hey, Garrett, who the fuck are these people?
I technically know who they are. But...
Yeah, I know who they are too. But there is literally no way someone has a strong read on this fight. I start looking into this fight and I get bored. I start looking into this fight. I start doing chores. I'm doing dishes that don't even need to be done to avoid breaking this fight down. I've mowed my yard 3 times since this fight has been announced. Yeah. And Teresa's nickname is Rhonda. Do you smoke Newports and bang your boss? I don't know. This one is weird. I'd assume they're trying to build up Silva because she's hot. But it's really just hard to say anymore. Speaking of we're talking about Molly, it's hard to say who they're building up at all. Give me the hot one by decision. That's what I'm taking.
Hey, Thomas, before you go, thank you so much for coming and chatting it up with us. We will see you next week. We got other videos coming out or the week after, whatever. Just check out this on the Playmaker podcast network for the full replay. Appreciate you coming here and cash out this weekend. Cash out. Anyways, moving on to this fight. Beleda, I kind of like her here. I think she's decided as the underdog. She's massively bigger. I think she's got about 4 or 5 inch height and reach advantage here. She's got the grappling advantage. She showed that. She's got good top pressure. She's good at defending submissions from anybody off her back. She went against a BJJ black belt on the Contender Series who was fishing for arm bars, fishing for triangles and heel hooks and all that good stuff, and she was able to defend everything. She's very heavy on top. She's got some good ground and pound. She's got a nice clean 1-2. Not really much else other than that. Silva, she's fast and she's quick on her feet. She's got good in and out movement. She absolutely pieced up Jasmine Jasnovic on in her UFC debut. She defended takedowns very, very well against Jasmine. Thing is, Jasmine just goes for body lock takedowns. She really doesn't chain together, singles and double legs as well as body locks. Her whole game is predicated on body locks. If she doesn't get the body lock, she's not getting the takedown. And that's pretty much what happened here. Bleda does have a good double leg takedown. She showed that in the first round against her opponent. She didn't really want to play too much on the ground because, BJJ black belt, you really don't want to play too much there. So we didn't get to really see a ton of her ground and pound that she's known for, but I expect we get to see that here. Bleda is the bigger, stronger of the two. She's the better grappler, I think. And then also being at the Apex, I don't think Silva's going to have enough real estate to be able to just stay on the outside, throwing kicks. And I think one of those kicks is definitely going to get caught, and she's going to get taken to the ground. So give me Bleda as an underdog here to start off the card.
What? How much? What's the line?
140 on Bleda, minus 165 on Silva.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I feel like the grappling advantage will be key here. So we'll see what happens. All right. Next up, we got a fight in the bantamweight division between Brady Hiestand and Fernie Garcia. Right now, Hiestand minus 170. Come back on Garcia plus 145. What do you got?
Yeah, I think that height and reach advantage will play a role in this. Brady trains with a good team, and I think he has a lot of potential as well. He could take a punch too, which is arguably Garcia's only shot at getting a win here. Also, losing to a guy half his size by decision is a bit suspect. Not taking anything away from Journey, as I am a fan, but Hiestand, however the hell he say his name, should be able to do the same. Rinse, repeat, win. Brady by decision.
Yeah, Brady was the runner-up for the Ultimate Fighter. He arguably, in a lot of people's eyes, won that fight, and he fought Ricky Tercios on one ACL. He only had one single ACL during that fight. Now he's fully recovered. He got his surgery. It's been over a year, so he's ready to go. He looks in phenomenal shape. Like you said, training at a great camp over Sick Jitsu, Michael Chiesa, Juliana Pena. There's his main training partners. So he's going to get a ton of grappling in. He's got good jiu-jitsu, good wrestling. And Fernie Garcia, like you said, laid a dud against Journey Newson, who's half his size. He was beating him to the punch on the feet. He was taking him down and controlling him at spurts. And then Fernie was also fading as the fight was going on. You can't fade against C-Stand. I think he's going to be able to, like you said, rinse, repeat, use his grappling to his advantage. And I think even on the feet, it's going to be competitive. I don't think Fernie is going to run away with the fight on the feet. I think C-Stand does have decent enough striking to hang in there. He just needs to move his head a little bit. He keeps his head too much on the center line. But other than that, I do think he's got the firepower to be able to come forward, land some heavy shots, and take him down and be able to absolutely dominate him on the mat. So I got Hiestand here getting the win. All right, moving on. Our next fight up is in the women's strawweight division between Vanessa Demopoulos and Maria Oliveira. Right now, Demopoulos minus 115 to come back on Oliveira minus 105. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to make this one quick. Oliveira has no takedown defense, and Demopoulos will clinch and wrestle her for 15 minutes. Outside of Demopoulos' juicy ass bouncing up and down, there isn't much more here. The stripper wins by decision.
Yes, I'm on Vanessa. I'm on Vanessa Demopoulos as well, which is crazy because she was an underdog at one point. Now she's the favorite.
Yeah.
So a lot of money has been pouring in on her, and rightfully so. I think Maria Oliveira has some skills. I mean, her stand-up is actually not as terrible. She's got decent volume, but like you said, she's got no takedown defense. Even someone like Vanessa Demopoulos should be able to take her down. and Vanessa has zero wrestling abilities whatsoever.
Yep.
None. She's got good jiu-jitsu, but she can't get it to the mat. I think there's a fight where Vanessa actually is able to get this fight to the mat, and then she's going to dominate from there. So I got Vanessa Demopoulos winning as well via decision.
It's fun. It's just such a funny thing to say, but I mean, even this next one's a weird one.
Yeah, I know. Our next fight up is in the bantamweight division between Miles Johns and Vince Morales. Right now, Johns minus 170 to come back on Morales plus 145. What do you got?
Did you switch this with because I thought on my card I think it's Ricky and Kevin.
Oh, it might be. I'm just going by best fight odds. So
it's whatever. I'm not really sold on Johns. I thought he was a decent prospect early on, but he hasn't really done much with it. He beats the guys he should, and that's really it. Morales does the same, but he really and truly only loses to elite. Well, excluding Benito Lopez, but that was
I think he beat actually, but keep going.
Yeah, but that was also pre-real estate Benito. I'm taking a shot on the dog here. I feel like this is a pretty close fight, and I see Morales as being a bit higher on the mid-scale trademark. KO Vince Morales. I think he gets him out of there.
Yeah, I'm not going against my boy Vince Morales. It's just not. It's not happening. Especially their disrespect to him again. John's taking this fight on 2-week notice. He really didn't have too much time, to game plan against Morales. Morales does have a wrestling background, so for people to think that Johns is just going to come in and just wrestle fuck Morales, they got another thing coming because it's not going to happen. And for some reason, Johns, his best attribute is his wrestling, but for some reason, the dude just wants to stay in the bang, and he doesn't have. I mean, he has it, and then he doesn't have it. Like, you look at his last fight, he didn't have it. Against Anderson Dos Santos, he had it. So he's spotty, and now he's training at good old Glory MMA.
Glory
hole. You know damn well I will not be betting on Miles Johns, knowing that he is fully committed to Glory Hole MMA with James Krause in his corner. So I'm backing Vince Morales here. He's got heavy hands. He's got a good right hand. He's got some power, and we know his kryptonite is calf kicks, something Johns doesn't do. So I'm taking Morales here to get the job done.
Well, and I also like that he never gives up, even when he is losing the fight, and it's apparent he doesn't give up. Case in point, the Benito Lopez fight, which again that could go either way, but the guy he has heart, and I mean I love betting on heart.
Yeah, like I said, huge fan of his Vince Morales. I think he could be a homer pick, and and I get it, but I think he's got legitimate skills, and I think it's going to show it. I'm not big on Johns. He's looked really bad as of late, and I just can't fathom playing him at minus 170 on short notice, no less. Not ready to go. I mean, he's coming off a bad loss. No, give me Vince Morales as a dog here. All right, next up, we got a fight in the bantamweight division between Ricky Turcios and Kevin Natividad. Right now, Turcios minus 155. Come back on Natividad plus 135. Who do you got?
Yeah. I was hoping for a better line after that shit show from 4 months ago.
But it's Kevin Natividad. So this is the best you're going to get.
Shit show versus shit show.
Right.
I look for Ricky to get back on track here. It pains me to say it, but I am a fan of him, but it's so difficult to even say that I think he's going to win. And while he isn't much of a KO artist, he did show that he can last and he will throw some heat when prompted. I expect him to do just that here. Kevin's chin is gone, and so will his contract after this loss. I like Ricky by KO. I really don't see this going any other way.
Yeah, they're giving Ricky a fight where, one, he should win, and two, they get to get rid of Kevin Natividad after this. It sucks because I was a fan of Kevin's before coming into the UFC. I thought he had a lot of potential. He showed it in LFA, but fortunately, I guess they gave him a ton of favorable matchups in LFA to make him look, like he's UFC caliber. But unfortunately, he's not. He's got power. but that's pretty much where it ends. He's definitely at a massive volume discrepancy in this fight, and I just think Ricky is just an all around better fighter. I mean, he throws more combinations, he throws from different angles, he's very awkward, and the Nishimiyata literally has to crack him to win. And I don't think he's going to be able to really hit Tercios as much as he would like to. I think he's going to hit and miss, and I think Tercios just runs away with a clear and easy decision.
I saw Tercios. Is he training with Faber now?
Yeah, he is.
So I think that was a change that was made after his last fight. So I'm kind of curious to see. I'm kind of curious to see.
I think he's been at Team Alpha Male for a little bit.
Well, so I know that he was in the Woodlands, or he was in Houston here with the Great White Shark, whatever the hell his name is.
Oh, Alex Morono. I think he splits time with both, though. I think he still trains with Alex Morono, too. Because I remember him. I was listening to an interview with him and James Lynch that he's still getting work in with Alex Morono as well.
Yeah, because
as well as Faber.
Well, he teaches there. So and then I saw that maybe it was on Tapology that he only had Alpha Male listed, and I was like, that's news to me, because last I checked, he's on. If you go to their website of the school here, he's one of the main faces on the website. So kind of interesting. So I mean I'm sure you're right, but it was news to me as far as him being with Faber, because I always like to fade Faber.
Yeah, I know. We can't fade Faber here.
Yeah, not here.
This is not the fade Faber moments, but
yeah,
we'll get there soon.
The algorithm's off.
Not in this one. All right, next up, we got a fight in the women's flyweight division between Marina Moroz and Jennifer Maia. Right now, Moroz -190 to come back on Maia +160. Before we get into this, can you believe that we have the cover of Playboy magazine fighting this weekend? I believe she is the first, if I'm not mistaken, first UFC fighter on the cover of Playboy, and she's still currently a UFC fighter fighting this weekend. History has been made, people. History is being made.
Yeah, I once I heard that news, I had to check out the Googles, and I found some interesting images, all for science, and it was devastatingly fantastic. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was definitely more my style than let's say the Paige Van Zants, or the typical, what you would assume is what the UFC would push as attractive fighters. This is what I need more of. And jumping from her I guess spread to her literally being inside the octagon, she is faster, younger, and she has the reach advantage. Maia probably has the power advantage, and she's a BJJ black belt, so I don't think she'll get subbed like Agapova. As far as WMMA, should be a fun and close decision. I lean toward Moroz because Maia hasn't really looked the same since the title shot. I think the speed and reach will play a large role here. And, in all reality, it's kind of nice to root for a playmate. I think that's really cool that she has, it's weird. It's like I think we talked about it off the air, but history. And, we were talking about something completely different, but this is one of those moments where it's this is a thing. This is going to be something that we talk about later. And she's well-spoken. She's smart. She's smart. She knows, she went to school. She's a decent fighter. So let's celebrate it and her tits.
Let's celebrate it and her tits. But as far as this matchup goes, this is another tall, long, rangy striker that Maia has to get through. She already lost back-to-back against tall, long strikers in Caitlin Chikagian and Manu Fito. So I think she's going to have a ton of trouble against Moroz, who has massive volume advantage here. she was a professional boxer before going into MMA, or she was an amateur boxer, either or. I think she was
She has a boxing background.
Yeah, I think she was a Golden Gloves boxer, if I'm not mistaken. And Maya, she's not a great striker. She's got some power, and she's always going to come forward. But her bread and butter is her jiu-jitsu. But the thing is, she can't get the fight to the mat. She just can't. She's got no offense wrestling. She's pretty much Vanessa Demopoulos, just a little bit bigger. That's pretty much the name of the game there. Except Maya's has better jiu-jitsu. But yeah, Moreau should get a win here. This is a very winnable fight. Stay on the feet, win the fight. Stay on the feet, win the fight. Easy peasy. Because I don't think she's gonna get taken down. So give me Moreau's getting the dub via decision.
That's for after the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Our next fight up is in the men's flyweight division between Charles Johnson and Zhalgas Zhumagulov. Right now, Johnson minus 165. Come back on Zhumagulov plus 140. Who do you got?
I like Charles Johnson. Like, I've been seeing people talk shit in our little group chat, and I like him. So I'm glad that the UFC is finally giving him a bone here, and I'm here for it. Zhumagulov, he's a one-trick pony, but he is a crafty one-trick pony. I expect this one to go all the way, but because of Johnson's activity and overall output, I expect him to get his hand raised. And it'd be nice to see him get a win, as he's exciting and a great fighter with a lot of potential. I personally think that this fight was set up so that Johnson could not only get the win, but so Zhumagulov can get his papers. Like, we can, give him the old Axel Rooney. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you killed two birds with one stone. You get Johnson's first win in the UFC, and you get to cut Zhumagulov, who's 1-4 in his last 5 fights, and his only win is Jerome Rivera. But that's neither here nor there, because considering he could possibly be 3-2 in the UFC. But I mean, he's got a massive discrepancy here in terms of the striking abilities. Johnson's 5 inches taller with a 4-inch reach advantage.
Yeah.
He's got some insane striking abilities. He's got great movement. He's going to be extremely hard to hit from Zhalgas. Zhalgas, I know he's going to go very calf kick heavy. That's what he's going to do. He's going to try to beat up the lead leg and make Johnson, stop his movement. That's the only way I feel like it's going to happen. But even so, I don't think he's going to touch it to the head. He's got great head movement. And then Zhalgas is just going to throw a heavy overhand rights. That's what he does. But he's going to try to take this fight to the mat. Johnson showed great takedown defense against Muhammad Mokaev. He defended 50% of his 22 takedown attempts. Mokaev needed to attempt the most takedowns in flyweight history in a single fight in order to beat Charles Johnson, because he wanted no parts of him on the feet. Johnson was teeing off on him, and I expect him to do the same to Zhumagulov here on Saturday night. Zhalgas is going to have to go in there, take it to the mat, keep him down, which is extremely hard to do. Mokaev couldn't do it. Or keep him up against the cage, which I don't expect him to do that either, because he's very strong, much bigger, much stronger than Zhumagulov. Ultimately, he sprawls and brawls and beats Zhumagulov at range to a wide unanimous decision victory.
Yeah. I don't see it going any other way.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Zhumagulov is, he's got to get cut. Charles Johnson is arguably one of my stronger plays of the card for sure. Especially at a good line at minus 165.
Johnson.
All right, moving on. Our next fight up is in the welterweight division between Danny Roberts and Jack Della Maddalena. Right now, Maddalena minus 580 to come back on Roberts. Shit. Roberts plus 440. Who do you got? Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, listen up, Thomas. So I actually think that this fight is going to be, it can't not be closer than the lines indicate. I think it's going to be a little bit closer in the beginning at the very least, but as the fight goes on, Maddalena, he should get it done. Dude is elite, and he's going to show us once more why he should be a contender at welterweight. Roberts has his moments, he is crafty, but any step up and the dude gets mauled. I'd expect them both to have moments, but Jack will exploit any mistakes that Roberts makes, and he will find the dub. And Roberts will definitely make mistakes, so watch for those mistakes. And Jack will come through, and he'll get the KO. I think it'll come probably round 2, maybe late round 1. But yeah, Danny Roberts is going down, and Jack is gonna once again put on a show.
Yeah, I'm very high on Jack. Man, he's elite. Like you said, he's an elite striker. I think he's already top 15 potential, especially after this win. He deserves to be in the top 15.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some insane striking abilities. He's able to mix in from the body to the head so well. He's got great defense. He doesn't get hit a ton, and he can win in firefights. He's got a chin on him if he needs it. Danny Roberts, he's got his chin checked numerous times. He's been knocked out. I don't expect him to really last more than 5 minutes. He's going to get chin checked a lot. Apex is not going to help him. So yeah, I think Derrick gets to round 1 KO. And if we look at those odds, I would hope it's at least something of plus money, or not, if I can never get there. But yeah,
under 1.5 should be okay.
Under 1.5 is minus 125.
See, I like that. But I mean, I also don't think Roberts is going to win, so I might as well take the stab on Madalena in round 1.
Yeah, let's see. Madalena by KO in round 1 is plus 155.
That's not that great.
No, I don't like that. But he probably should win in round 1 by KO. So we would think. All right,
UFC does not like Danny Roberts.
No, they're just giving killers.
Yep.
Fuck it. All right, moving on. Our next fight up is in the middleweight. No, I'm sorry, the welterweight division between Andre Fialho and Muslim Salikov. Right now, Salikov minus 115. Come back on Fialho minus 105. What do you got?
First up, props to you, Garrett, for calling Muslim's last fight so perfectly. Salikov looked decent against Lee until he didn't. And the blueprint is out on Fialho. But that being said, I think the old man will get flatlined here. This fight is a perfect setup for Fialho to get back on track. He has the reach advantage, and I'd expect this one to go down exactly like Sakalov's last fight. 2 booms, 1 boom hitting his chin, and the second boom, the old man hitting the floor. Had the Matthews fight not happened, this line would be insane. So if you want to take a shot like me, take Fialho by KO. I think that's a safe and fun play.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I was very on the fence with this fight, to be honest, because Fialho just looked like dog shit. But it's really hard to not fade
the old man,
an old guy, not just an old man, but an old man that just got knocked the fuck out.
That too, yeah.
Now he's going against another heavy power puncher,
even a more powerful puncher. Like
right.
It's Andy does not like Fialho has the reach advantage. Like it's one of these guys is going to look really good. That's just it, because Sakalov is not a scrub. Like he's a good fighter. He has a good stance. He's well protected. He's just older, and he doesn't have all of the advantages are on Fialho in this fight. Right. So it's hard. And I really like the point of, had the Matthews fight not happened, dude, this would be like minus 700, I
would think it's at least minus 340. Well, that's where I would line it at. I think it's minus 340.
Let's meet in the middle, minus 450.
Well, okay. We'll do that. But yeah, I do have to agree with you. Father Time, I think, is shown that Salikov's time is over. Being as old as he is, I just don't see him being able to come through like this. I think, Fialho by knockout is plus 175, which is it's really not a bad play at all. He definitely, Fialho is definitely someone I'll be playing on DraftKings for sure.
Well, and I just don't see Sakalov being able to do what Matthews did. I just don't think he has the pace or the output or the style.
He's going to stay at distance and just try to kick his way to victory via decision. He's not going to try to get into a firefight. He's not going to want to. He's going to want to stay at range, use his kicks, utilize all those spinning attacks that he always does, and then just try to outpoint because if he tries to get to a firefight, he's getting knocked out.
Well, and that's the weird thing is like any person that thinks that Sokolov is going to win, they're all saying like by KO or by finish, and I'm just like, don't get me wrong, he is powerful. He does have highlight knockouts, but like those are like flukes against guys he should have knocked out, you know?
And how long ago was that?
Yeah, exactly. Like 2-3
It
years
was.
ago.
It wasn't at 38 after getting steamrolled.
Yeah. Yeah, I did go back and forth with this one, but I think once I really sat down and thought about it, pen to paper, it just makes sense to bet on Fiallo. Sokolov is not Jake Matthews, so I don't know. That's at least where my head is at.
No, I totally agree with you there. Let's keep it moving. Right now, we have a next fight in the heavyweight division between Waldo Cortez Acosta and Chase Sherman. Right now, Acosta minus 215 to come back on Sherman plus 185. Who do you got?
I continue to bet against Sherman, and he continues to prove me wrong. I mean, those were some pretty easy fights. And looking back, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. But Sherman is bad. And I'm not talking about like in a cool Michael Jackson way. He's just bad. Waldo should find the KO, as I assume Sherman will probably engage, probably early as well. And hopefully we never have to see Sherman again. I like Waldo Cortez Acosta by KO.
Book it.
Yeah.
I like it. Obviously, I'm definitely on Acosta here. My only drawback is I'm hoping Acosta doesn't gas out trying to fucking destroy Sherman.
Which is very possible.
Yeah, because like I can see Sherman just getting absolutely obliterated and somehow able to make it out of round one, and Acosta is just dead fucking tired trying to kill this man.
Yep.
Ultimately, I don't see that happening because, he was able to go in there and keep the pace and keep the pressure and keep pushing forward against Jaron Vandera, even while eating like about 100 calf kicks. So pretty impressive. When it comes down to actual striking abilities, Acosta is light years better than Sherman. He was a pro boxer before turning MMA. Now he's an 8-0 pro with, I think, 6 or 7 knockouts. So that boxing has definitely, transitioned very well into MMA. And I feel like it's going to transition well here because Sherman doesn't do anything but stand there and get fucking hit. Yep. That's what he does best, is get fucking hit. In the last 3 fights of his that have at least gone to round 3, he's let his opponents all land over 100 strikes against him. If he lets Acosta land 100 strikes, he's going to be a bloody mess. And then you look at Vandera, he was not able to touch Acosta to the head at all. He landed only 12 of his 92 head strikes, which is like a whopping 15 to 18% of those strikes that he landed to the head. Majority of those strikes landed were to the calf. That's it. So that doesn't bode well for Sherman at all either, because Acosta has good head movement. Acosta should be able to line him up to the body, go to the head because he digs to the body well. He's going to mix it up. He's going to knock out Sherman in round 1.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too. I hope so. All right. Our co-main event is in the light heavyweight division between Kennedy Nzechukwu and Ian Cutelaba right now. Nzechukwu minus 175 to come back on Cutelaba plus 150. Who do you got?
There was a time when I would bet against Kennedy in every fight, and those times are long gone. He steadily improves, and he is finally starting to understand his body. Cutelaba, he's fun to watch, but man, is his IQ horrible. I think Kennedy jabs Cutelaba to death. Cutelaba gets frustrated and eventually gets knocked out when he becomes overzealous. I like him, and he's fun, but man, is he dumb. Give me Kennedy by KO. Probably happens round 2, round 3.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the Kennedy train here. He's, like you said, steadily improving every single fight. and we know that he's got a chin on him. We saw that in the Carlos Ulberg fight, and I think he's just going to be too tough to hold down for Cutelaba to utilize his grappling. Yes, he probably get a couple takedowns early, but we know when he does that, he tends to fade as the fight goes on. It's the same thing each and every fight, and he tries to say that he's always, he's going to be more calculated this, and he's changing, he's getting better, and he never does. He just still does the same thing that he did when he came in to where he is right now. He has not changed whatsoever. And mind you, Kennedy's trading partner just beat Cutelaba. That's right. Ryan Spann just beat Cutelaba. So they already know how to beat this man, what they need to watch out for. And he's got the same tall, long, lanky frame that gives Cutelaba a ton of problems because he's only 6 feet tall as a light heavyweight. So give me Kennedy by knockout inside 2 rounds after a severe cardio dump from Ian Cutelaba.
Yep.
All right, so we're finally up to our main event. A heavyweight banger between Derrick Lewis and Serghei Spivak. Right now, Spivak is the minus 200 favorite, and they come back on Derrick Lewis plus 170. What do you got?
Damn, that line is still cruising.
Yep.
So first things first, this is not in Texas, so Derrick Lewis should win this fight. And it hurts me to say, but Derrick is getting older, and it's shown a lot lately. I still think he has the power to get it done early, especially against someone with a shitty polar bear tattoo. But who knows? Spivak is a good wrestler, and he's steadily improving. But Lewis could get back to his old ways with a KO as Serghei enters, a la Curtis Blades. I'll take Lewis at plus money and probably by KO, maybe round 1 as well. I'm debating on where I want to sprinkle it all, but I can't not bet against Derrick Lewis. That's just how it is, especially at plus money.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially if you take the KO at plus 200 it's from plus 200 all the way up to plus 230. I think that's a no-brainer bet. Whether you win or lose, you definitely bet a little bit on that price. Serghei Spivak, yes, he could probably take down Derrick Lewis and get him out of there in round 1. Is it possible? Yeah, I can see it. Or he could also get deaded. But you also look at who Spivak's beaten. Augusto Sakai, Greg Hardy, Alexei Oleinik, Jared Vandera. Those are his last 4 wins. Is Derrick Lewis even in the same stratosphere as any of them? Absolutely not. And then the last time he had to step up a competition, he got absolutely steamrolled by Time Aspinall. Granted, Derrick Lewis, very slow, doesn't throw a ton of output, doesn't have great takedown defense. So there are holes in Derrick Lewis's game. He's slow. He fades as fight goes on. But he has that equalizer. He's got some of the most insane knockout power in the history of the UFC heavyweight division. So I'm always going to bet that at plus 200, not necessarily against the, someone like Pavlovich, who I bet on against Lewis. But we know that Spivak is not an elite striker, so he's not going to be able to really stand and bang with him. So if there's any moments where this fight is fought at distance, I think Lewis should be able to win this fight. But what's up, Marcus? Appreciate you joining us. I know we're a little late this evening, but shit happens. We're here. We're making money. We went through this whole thing, so you might have to rewatch it a little bit later. So,
hey, Marcus, what about Ryan Spann?
Ryan fucking Spann, man.
Hey, but the one thing I want to mention about this fight, and I think that if you guys have a chance to go back and watch it, Derrick Lewis faced a Marcin Tybura back in 2018, and I was there. It was in Austin, UFC Fight Night 126, 2018, and Tybura, he wrestled him round 1, round 2, and then, like you said, the game changer, if you will, Derrick Lewis came alive round 3. I mean, Tybura couldn't really keep him down, like he could, but then every time that he would get him down, he would sprawl, get back up, and then ultimately he was just controlled for 2 rounds. And then Tybura, I think Tybura doesn't really get tired, but he did get a little tired. I mean, as big as Derrick Lewis is, even if you are a wrestler, I mean, it's hard to keep that a big man that down. So I'm assuming that this is gonna be a lot like that. Spivak is gonna take him down and ultimately just kind of hope that he can keep him down.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's if I feel like Spivak, if he wins, he's probably gonna steamroll Lewis and early.
Yeah.
And I feel like if he doesn't steamroll him early, I think Lewis is probably gonna knock him out at some point. We got AJ asking who we got for Nico Price's next fight. He's going up against the Fresh Prince over there, and I can't believe I forgot his name. Wow, I know who he's fighting too. I see his face. Phil Rowe. Philip Rowe. Dumb.
Yeah, I had to Google it.
Brain fart. Phil Rowe. Yes. So who do you got in that fight between Nico Price and Phil Rowe?
Probably Nico, honestly. I mean, I'd have to see a line to tell you who I'm betting on, but just off the top of my head, I feel like Nico is probably the better of the two. I don't know. Rowe is kind of like mid for me, but I'd have to look at I'd have to crunch the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me. And I am a Nico Price mark, so I'm gonna just pick him regardless of who he's fighting. And
I know. I like Nico Price a lot. It's difficult because he's on. I don't want to say a little bit of a skid, but I don't think he won his last fight. He hasn't fought in a little bit of time, so it's hard for me to remember these things. But for Rowe, he's been looking good. He's been improving a lot in his game. So that's why I think it's gonna be a dangerous fight because I know Nico Price definitely fought the way better competition between the two, like immensely better competition. But Phil Rowe, he's definitely tall, very long, so he's definitely gonna be able to utilize his range very well, like he has been in the past. And he's a jiu-jitsu black belt in his own right, just like Nico Price is. So I think that fight is gonna be super hard for me to to bet on because it's going to be extremely. I feel like it's going to be extremely close, and it's going to be fun because I'm going to be there, baby.
Oh yeah, well, it kind of reminds me of the Randy Brown matchup a little bit. I highly doubt it goes down the same way, but he, his last win was Alex Oliveira. That was in October of 2021, and then before that, he lost to Michelle Pereira, in July. And then the Don Cerrone was a no contest back in 2020. Didn't he win that?
Technically won that, but
yeah. But yeah, I want to jump to I want to analyze that one a little bit more before.
Yeah, of course.
But I would have to say Nico just because of the competition. But yeah, Marcus, I was at that event too, and I interviewed Gilbert Melendez. He was doing a gym's a roll with type thing, and Nate Diaz was supposed to show up, and Nate ended up not coming. So that was kind of cool, but kind of weird at the same time. And then we also hung out with Valentina as well. We got kicked out of a UFC event because our cameras were better than the UFC's cameras. All of their people were like, "Who are you with? Why do you have those cameras? Why is your lens so good?" So they kicked us out because our stuff looks better than theirs.
They're like, we're not as professional as those guys, so get them the fuck out of here.
Well, they tried to touch our cameras, which that's a no. But we just kind of handled it professionally, and then after that, they wanted to hire us, which was kind of weird. Valentino, her people wanted our contacts so that they could hire us if they couldn't do a gig. But ultimately, we never heard back from them. But yeah, we just had better gear.
Those bastards, those greedy bastards. That's what they are. Marcus is asking, Are y'all catching Bellator tomorrow? I took Anderson by decision. That line is at plus 200. That's actually a pretty good line. I definitely like that line. That's a very good line, plus 200.
We broke down that card, and that's actually that's how I think he wins. I think that they ultimately hold each other down, and I think Anderson's the better fighter of the two.
Yeah, Anderson's the guy that holds down better, is what you're saying.
Obviously, Garrett's tired, but if I don't know if Marcus, how long you've been watching, but Garrett we did play Corey we played Corey as an underdog the first time around. So
yeah, we did, and that really sucks because now this guy is freaking minus 230.
But I think that's the play. I think that's the play.
Yeah, I'm definitely siding with Corey Anderson for sure. But yeah, guys, it's late for me. I'm old. I gotta get going. I got shit to do, but we appreciate every single one of you guys watching. We also need you guys to go to PrizePicks. PrizePicks, go to PrizePicks, sign up right now. Use promo code PropsLive. Get 100% deposit up to $100. They just added the 6 flex. That's right. You get 6 in a row, and guess how much you win? 25 times your money. 25 times your money. You hit 6 out of 6. You hit 25 times your money. That's all you need. 6 for 6. And get your some Surfer Boy pizza as well. Why not?
I don't know why that's here.
Why not? But anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you guys make some money with us this weekend. We will be back, probably not next week because there's no UFC, but we'll be back the next week for UFC Orlando, which I will be at live from the Amway Center. I will be there. But until then, we will see you guys next time. We're out of here. Adios. Have a good night. We appreciate y'all.